Did you know that many laws you follow today trace back to a Roman emperor from over 1500 years ago? Justinian I's legal reforms didn't just organize his own empire. They shaped the very foundation of justice and order for generations. His influence lives on in legal textbooks, courtrooms, and the principles behind contracts, property, and personal rights. When you sign a lease or buy something, you're participating in a system that owes much to Justinian's vision. He brought clarity to chaos, giving future civilizations a powerful legal tool. The Justinian Code is more than a historical artifact. It's a living legacy of fairness and organization that survived empires and wars. By looking back at Justinian's monumental work, we see how a 6th century desire for order laid the groundwork for today's legal systems. The rules that govern us are the product of a long, complex evolution, an unbroken chain linking our present to the distant past. Who was Justinian? He ruled the Byzantine Empire from 527 to 565 AD, driven by ambition to restore Roman greatness. Not born into high nobility, Justinian rose through intelligence and his uncle's influence. He believed a great empire needed strong armies and just laws. For Justinian, law was the glue holding society together, as vital as any fortress or general. This belief led him to launch one of history's most ambitious legal projects, the Justinian Code, or Corpus Juris Civilis. His goal was to gather, edit, and organize centuries of Roman law into a single, clear, authoritative source. By codifying the law, Justinian asserted his power and fulfilled what he saw as a divine duty to create a just society. The Corpus Juris Civilis was more than reform. It was a statement of imperial power and a blueprint for a restored Roman world. Justinian's vision was to bring heavenly order to earth through law. Justinian inherited a legal system in chaos, centuries of laws, decrees, and opinions scattered across thousands of scrolls. Many laws were outdated or contradictory, making justice unpredictable and unfair. Judges in different provinces could reach opposite conclusions on similar cases. Citizens and lawyers struggled to know what the law actually was. Justinian saw this confusion as a threat to the empire's stability. His solution: appoint a commission to read everything, discard the obsolete, resolve contradictions, and organize the rest. The goal was a single, authoritative source of law for the entire empire. Once complete, all previous laws not included would be invalid. Judges and officials would finally have a clear, concise body of law. Justinian's bold move brought order to centuries of legal chaos. Justinian wasted no time. In 528 AD, he appointed a commission led by Tribonian to tackle the empire's legal mess. Their first achievement, the Codex Justinianus, a collection of imperial laws organized into 12 books. Next came the Digest, or Pandex, a 50-volume compilation of the best legal writings from Rome's greatest jurists. Alongside, they created the Institutes, a textbook to train future lawyers and officials in the new system. The Institutes offered a clear overview of Roman law's main principles. After the main collection, Justinian issued new laws, the Novellae, to address emerging issues. Together, the Code, Digest, Institutes, and novels formed the Corpus Juris Civilis, a comprehensive legal system. In less than a decade, Justinian's team transformed a millennium of confusion into a structured masterpiece. This new code covered everything from broad principles to specific statutes and education. The Corpus Juris Civilis became the legal backbone of the empire. Its clarity and organization set a new standard for law. The Corpus Juris Civili organized law into three main categories: persons, things, and actions. The law of persons defined legal status, citizens, foreigners, free people, slaves, and rights within families. The law of things covered property, ownership, contracts, and how assets could be transferred or inherited. It set rules for buying, selling, loans, leases, and partnerships, forming the commercial backbone of the empire. The law of actions explained how to bring lawsuits, present evidence, and enforce judgments. This ensured rights and obligations could be upheld in court. The code also addressed crimes, punishments, government structure, and religious matters. Its breadth was its strength, covering nearly every aspect of life, from the marketplace to the emperor's powers. Justinian's Code created a complete legal universe in a set of books. The Justinian Code's impact is clear in its practical laws. Contracts were binding through mutual agreement. If you bought a horse and the seller refused delivery, you could go to court for a remedy. Property law distinguished between owning and possessing. Borrow a book, and you possess it, but don't own it. The law protected true ownership and set clear rules for transferring property. The institutes used simple scenarios to teach concepts like natural law, air, water, and the sea belong to everyone. This idea of common resources influenced environmental and property law for centuries. The code also established liability for damages. If your ox destroyed a neighbor's crops, you owed compensation. This principle of making the injured party whole is still central to modern justice. Justinian's laws emphasized responsibility, fairness, and predictability. These foundations remain at the heart of today's legal systems. The code's clarity made law accessible and practical for everyday life. Its influence endures in how we resolve disputes and protect rights. After the Western Roman Empire fell, the Justinian Code faded from Western Europe. Medieval justice relied on local customs and superstition, not systematic law. The code survived in the Byzantine East, but in the West, only fragments remained. Everything changed in the 11th century when scholars in Italy rediscovered the Digest. This sparked a legal revival. Universities like Bologna made Roman law central to education. Scholars called glossators wrote commentaries and adapted Roman principles to local needs. Students from across Europe studied the code, then brought its ideas home. This created a common legal language and shared principles, known as the jus commune. Roman law's rediscovery shifted Europe toward rational, systematic justice. The Justinian Code became the intellectual foundation for modern European law. The Justinian Code's influence didn't stop in medieval Europe. It became the basis for civil law systems worldwide. France's Napoleonic Code, Germany, Italy, Spain, all drew from Roman law's structure and principles. Through colonialism, these systems spread to Latin America, Quebec, Louisiana, Africa, and Asia. Today, much of the world lives under legal systems descended from Justinian's Code. Even in common law countries, Roman legal ideas left their mark, especially in contract, maritime, and inheritance law. Legal phrases like bona fide and pro bono echo this Roman heritage. Principles like innocent until proven guilty and the need for written wills trace back to the code. Justinian's work is a living part of global law, shaping justice from Paris to Tokyo. The journey of the Justinian Code shows that history is a living force shaping our world. Decisions made over 15 centuries ago still form the foundation of justice today. The code's emphasis on reason, evidence, and logic replaced arbitrary rule with rational law. Concepts like rights, obligations, property, and due process are part of this ancient inheritance. Understanding this history reveals the deep roots of our societies. The story of Justinian's Code is just one example of how the past connects to our present. Subscribe for more stories about the powerful ideas and people who shaped our world.